What's up? So we're here. We're live, episode 3. First off, I want to start out. We're going to apologize right off the get because we released a video saying we were in talks with a guy to get him to come on, and we were. And I'm not exactly sure. Oh, hold on, technical difficulty. There we go. I'm not exactly sure what happened. There was a breakdown in communication, and I didn't get a response. So it didn't happen tonight. That's all right. That's okay. We got a lot of talking to do anyways. We got a lot of stuff we can talk about tonight. But we have the 27th confirmed, and we're not sure if we're going to release that yet. And we'll talk about that at the end of the show. And I still am waiting on a message back for the 20th. And if I get who I am talking to, I'm going to be pretty stoked about that. And you guys will be too, because this person's pretty well known in the business, okay? Indie scene and throughout, okay? So we're here. It's episode 3. We've had some technical difficulties today. I had a computer take a poof on me today. Motherboard went, and let's just say stress, right? Trying to get everything put together and done, and it's here now, all right? Here we are. We got laptops galore going right now. I got a bigger screen in front of us, so I don't have to do this. All right, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know how I am, right?
Yeah.
So
every video,
right? Yeah. There's a lot going on this weekend and the next couple of weeks for wrestling, so we do got some good stuff to talk about. All right. There's some news that's happened through the past week. Here, will you hand me that, please? No. There's some news that's happened throughout it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right in. First of all, I've talked about this in one of the videos that I released on YouTube, but and there's a lot of people talking about this because he's pretty popular.
A lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. He's pretty popular. He's a high flyer. Ricochet, right? Okay. So they're talking Ricochet, Lucha Underground, Prince Puma. Okay. They're saying his contract is up. I think the last episode airs or has aired. Is it?
Yeah, I believe his contract was up in July.
Right, but
he has to wait until the last episode.
Right, exactly.
Goes on.
So he has to wait for that,
and then another 90 days.
Right. So he's got a non-compete clause.
Right.
He can do pay-per-views. He can do indie shows. He can do stuff like that. He can do appearances, but he cannot appear on American television.
Right.
So. I'm pretty, and if I don't know if you have him on Twitter or not. I don't have him on Twitter, but I've seen other people post his Twitter posts, and there's that slight hint that he's going to go to the WWE. I mean, he posted a picture the other day on Twitter with him and Triple H. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and this was from when he was younger.
Right.
And he says, "I'll see you soon."
Oh
yeah, so I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure, but do you think that if they signed him, and with everything else and how they've done everybody else, when they come in, they typically go to NXT. Do you think they're going to do that with Ricochet? Do you think they'll put him in?
It depends on how well he negotiates his contract. If he negotiates right, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, who other than AJ Styles hasn't went into NXT first?
Yeah.
Even Shinsuke Nakamura.
You got Shinsuke, you got Joe, the glorious Bobby Roode.
Right.
All had to go. Neville, they all had to go through their NXT days.
Austin Aries was in NXT too.
Yeah.
And
Austin Aries, in my opinion, is one of the greatest wrestlers to ever walk in a mat. So
really, I mean, that's personal. Everybody has their favorites.
Just watch him. He's amazing. I love him.
So if 205 Live survives, okay, because we'll talk about this in a minute. We'll talk about 205 a little bit more here in a minute. However, let's get this out of the shot there.
That might be why they're bringing Ricochet in.
You think so?
He might start on NXT and then go into a role on 205 Live, which I think could work and bring a big draw to the show.
Okay.
So
hey, by the way, guys, the chat is running this time. I apologize for last show. I don't know what happened somewhere along the lines. I think we had a situation where we changed something and it wasn't working. But the live chat is working. So if you guys, I see we have some people watching. So go ahead and comment if you got a question or you want to throw a comment in. Go ahead. I mean, this is what it's all about. That's why we're doing a YouTube live show.
The talk.
Yeah. Okay. You got something to say? All right. We'll talk about it with you. Okay. So he goes, what if he does go to 205 Live? Okay. So let's think about that. Let's just say that he is.
Do they put the belt on him right away?
I don't know. But do you think that if he goes to 205 that he'll have the same success that he had in the Indies? Or Lucha Underground as Prince Puma in WWE?
Well, I don't think the same. Not as many people are into 205 Live as Lucha. I mean, he already missed a shot at being the inaugural champ like he was there,
Right.
So, I mean, not the same, but I don't think he'll ever go anywhere and be the same as it was in Lucha for him.
Well, I mean, obviously he's already under a gimmick change because he was Prince Puma and Lucha Underground, and he can't wrestle as Prince Puma outside of that,
right.
And so now he's Ricochet. I don't know.
Do you think Vince would pay for that gimmick?
He's got the money. I just don't know if
That's what I'm saying. But it's not about money with Vince. It's about ego. And
I don't know about that.
He loves to bring in guys that have been built huge and bury them.
Yeah, I don't know.
He likes his homegrown Vince ideas. You know what I mean? So
no, their PKS days on.
Hey,
all right, so I don't know if it's
how's it going, guys?
Mr. Kyostenweir or Mrs. Kyostenweir, but you do whatever you want to do. You go with it. You go with the flow. He's gonna critique us. You watch. If that's
good.
If that's Kyostenweir, he'll critique
good.
us.
I need that.
Yeah. I disagree, and I think that he is about his money. He's all about his intellectual properties.
Oh yeah.
Okay. He's all.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He loves to make his own.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at. You were saying, do you think he would? You were asking if he would buy the Prince Puma.
Do you think he would?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't even think he would go with the Ricochet name because Ricochet owns it. It's just like when Medusa came to
right.
She was Medusa, and when she came to WWE, he didn't want her to be Medusa because she owned the rights to that.
Right.
And so
it was tied to WCW.
Well, that too. And so it was a Lunger Blaze.
Right.
Excuse me. And I think that it's possible that they would change his name. Although I mean they didn't do it with Leo Rush. You know who he is.
And
they didn't do it with AJ
Mike
Styles.
Kanellis either.
They didn't do it with him either. I don't know. It's
Samoa Joe.
Well,
Bobby Roode.
Yeah. I guess it could happen.
It could, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe Vince is a little more hands off with talent, right? At this time.
Well, we could see. Don't mind me. We didn't have ink today, so I couldn't print anything out. So I'm using a computer to go through our outline. So don't mind us. Has to go to NXT, they say. Has to. If Bobby Roode goes to NXT, I think Ricochet.
Everybody. If Bobby Roode and Austin Aries start out
and Shinsuke
NXT,
Nakamura,
everybody, that's like the bar,
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than those three guys.
AJ Styles didn't go to NXT.
Yeah, well,
but do you put Bobby Roode and AJ Styles in the same category?
I do.
Or Shinsuke Nakamura for that matter?
See, I've never heard of Shinsuke Nakamura before he was in WWE.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I know he was like.
Have you ever really watched New Japan at all?
No, not really. I've seen some matches here and there, but I've never watched anything faithfully. I got into Chikara a little bit. Lucha Underground was really cool. You know, I watched that a little bit down in Florida. But I had no idea who Nakamura was.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not.
The only reason why I knew
who
Shinsuke Nakamura was before he came into NXT was because of AJ Styles and Bullet Club and what they were doing in Japan.
Right.
That was really it.
Right.
I mean,
see, that's the only thing I knew about New Japan was AJ Styles was there. AJ Styles and Luke Gallows.
Yeah, right. Bullet Club. Might as well.
Yeah, I can't stand that.
All right. So you don't like the Bullet Club?
I don't like Luke Gallows. I don't like that tag team, Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the club now because they can't use Bullet Club.
Right.
That's the club. But so all right. So off of Ricochet. So we have WWE Network, $9.99 a month, right? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Great deal. All right. If you don't have WWE Network and you're a wrestling fan, you should get it.
You should
get it because you get all the pay-per-views, $10 a month. Remember when the pay-per-views were $40?
Yeah, now they're still. If you don't have the network, you're still paying $60 for the pay-per-view.
See, I don't have cable, so I don't know, but
and with the network, you get all the WCW stuff too. That's
right.
That's the best part for me because I can go back and I can watch all the great Ric Flair Sting matches and watch Vader decimate people in what was NWA,
right?
Because they have that too, and they have all the great old stuff, USWA,
and then not to mention all their exclusive network shows like Table of Three, which great show. Have you ever watched Table of Three? Or Table for Three?
Yeah, that's 2 episodes.
Oh man, there was the one with AJ Styles, Kevin Nash, and HBK. That's a good one. Yeah, there was the one with Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson. That was a good one.
That would have been a really good one.
There was a couple other ones that I've watched that are really good. And then there's what's the Mick Foley one? What is that?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
But anyways, there's that. Well, there's a bunch of them, and
there's even stuff for kids,
right?
Cartoons.
Some of them you gotta watch. You gotta watch.
There's Story Time.
That's
really good. You can watch that with the kids.
Well, Camp WWE is probably good for
PG-12 or so.
Yeah. Well. So, anyways, now Global Force or Impact or whatever they're calling themselves. They now have a streaming service for $7.99 or $7.99 a month. Okay. Now, I'm not exactly sure what content they have on there yet. I got to do a little more research on it. I did hear that in the future that they're going to offer the GFW pay-per-views streaming through there, just like kind of like the just like WWE Network.
It'd be nice if they had their weekly shows on there.
Yeah. I guess there's some channel online now, like some streaming thing where you can watch Impact online for free.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. I have to look into it. But anyways, there is a section on the Global Force. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's on the streaming app. There's a section for Border City Wrestling. Have you heard? You know who Border City Wrestling is? Okay. So there's that web series. I guess you could call it a web series that they have with Scott D'Amore, the Global Forge, okay? And we know a couple guys that went over there. I know, 3 or 4 guys that went over there and tried out. Well, anyways, that's Scott D'Amore and what have you. So this is a way for them to get more exposure to their school and to their indie that they're running over there. And now you can watch it on this app. So eventually, I'm most likely going to grab it and oh hey, why is this turned wrong? There we go. It was bugging me. So anyways, I hope that it leads into more and they stay around and it's another way for them to make some more money.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Although if the rumor is they don't have any money, so we'll see about that. Okay, and that's the school that Bobby Roode come out of, Rhino come out of there. There's a couple other guys that are still actively wrestling that's come out of there. Okay, so I don't know anybody that's watching. Most of you guys might be from Michigan. Some of you might be from somewhere else. Who knows? Maybe you're watching this later on and you're not watching it live. Okay, but there was a big show at the Cobo this past weekend, and it's made major news because of one thing, and it wasn't because of the wrestling, which sucks, you know,
right?
Because that's what that show was all about. To be truth, was bringing wrestling back to the Cobo, and I know a couple guys that were there, and they witnessed this happen. But Cornette and Santino Marella, Marella? Yes. They had a little clash. And to my understanding, from some of the things that I've read, and I don't know, have you read anything about this?
I've read about just what happened, that there was a...
Okay. So Santino released a statement, and basically he tells the whole story going back to OVW. Okay, so before Santino was anybody or anything or even really known in the business, he was in OVW. So he's in OVW. He hadn't even wrestled a match for him or anything. He's in the crowd of a show, and I forget who it was that was wrestling. Walked by, something had happened, and Cornette was mad about it, and they were in the back, and Cornette smacked him around a couple times, and I don't know the full story on
it. Poor Santino. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Well, and he was new, he was green.
Yeah,
and and so he didn't know how to react, and eventually later on, Cornette was out of OVW.
Right.
Okay, so he didn't really get to have closure on it. And so here's Cornette at the Cobo for a show. Here's Santino. And I guess Cornette went to go to the bathroom, and he come back, and Santino and him face to face and started arguing and what have you.
Oh, man, I can just imagine. That was probably... hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure.
I could just imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's all over the news. And then what? So then, well, how do you say his last name? Bruce
Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard was doing his podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it at where was it? Was at it wasn't the state. It was one of the little venues there in Detroit, and he was doing his podcast. And what? Cornette is there. And he pees on the crowd or something?
No. I thought it was a picture of Bruce Pritchard that he pissed on.
Really?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. And I thought it was at the Cobo.
Oh.
Is where I also thought.
No, because he left.
That's what I thought.
See, some people say he left. Some say he got kicked out. I'm not sure at this point. I guess the only person we really need to ask is the promoter for XICW, because he's the one that's going to know. He's the one that's going to know. So maybe we should I'm not going to say his name on here because I don't know him personally, but I know people that do.
So excuse me, sir.
Well, was he kicked out?
Was he booted, or did he leave by himself?
So if you guys want to read more information on that, there's a few websites out there that have both Cornette's statement and Santino's. So he says he left. So Santino got kicked out.
Okay.
And
Cornette left. And Santino got booted.
Yeah, and to my understanding,
so then Santino must have been the aggressor.
He's the one that approached him. From my understanding.
Wow.
Cornette didn't go to him. Santino went to Cornette.
That's odd,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And to my understanding, Santino was an added thing for this show. Because really? He's launching a new wrestling school. He's kind of piggybacking off of D'Amore,
right,
from Border City. He demanded an apology. All right.
I mean, if someone smacked me, I would.
I know, but I mean, how many years ago was it?
Yeah, but I mean, still.
I know. Well, hey, let's be honest here. Neither of us come from the perfect background, right?
No, yeah.
Okay.
No.
And we've had things happen to us in our past 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. Okay. You know some of the things that happened to me. We're not going to do it on here.
Right.
But I'm not going after them and going, hey, I want your apology.
Yeah, hey, can you apologize to me so I can sleep at night?
But in the same instance, I'm not Cornette going on somebody else's podcast and doing what he did either.
Right.
You know, I like Cornette. I don't have a problem with Santino either, but I was
always a Santino fan.
Right. I don't know. I think it tarnished the show. Yeah, well, it gave it publicity, but I think that the show, what it was about, it ruined what the show was really about.
Right. I agree.
And bringing wrestling back to the Kobo. Oh, that's what started the fight. He wanted an apology.
I almost apologized.
Yeah, so I was like, wait a minute. What did I do? All right. So now there's been reports all over the place about Neville.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, there have.
First it was Neville left Raw.
Right.
Okay. Then later on it was he never showed up to Raw.
Right.
And we really don't know what's happened yet because WWE hasn't made an official statement yet.
Right. But the story is that he didn't show, and Kalisto was just written in as Enzo's opponent, and they just decided to give him let's drop the title to him because it's Eddie's birthday, which is a good, that's nice, a nice sentiment. Kalisto idolized Eddie Guerrero, so,
well, a lot of people
so
do.
It's nice, win the title on his 50th birthday, but I mean, where's Neville?
Right. Well, and so it's they're saying that he wants a release, and they haven't come to terms yet.
Right.
And there's whether or not they're going to release him, or if they release him at all.
I've also heard that he asked for a release so that he could leave the company and go somewhere else to reinvent himself,
like Drew,
and then come back,
like Drew, right?
Yeah, exactly,
NXT,
like Drew. And that's another guy who I was surprised they made him come back to NXT. I was really surprised at that.
Well, it is what it is. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so do you think Neville has enough star power to go out in the indies and do what Cody is doing right now?
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
More. I think his name holds more weight than Cody Rhodes.
I just don't think he has the flair to get over as big as Cody is, or
the flair.
Yeah, he does.
The Red Arrow.
He's not like Cody. He's not. And I'm not saying that Cody wrote the book, okay? No, but kind of he did.
He didn't write the book, but he's a chapter in it.
Right, because
I get where
he's doing something that nobody else has really done.
Right.
After WWE. Nobody's, besides Drew.
Yeah, nobody's went anywhere else and made a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, some people in TNA probably scraped some chips, but other than that, there hasn't been anything.
Well, TNA was just a retirement home.
Right, that's
right. Basically what it was. Just like WCW turned in the later years,
the later years, that's right.
Well, do you think that he can go out and make the money that he's making in WWE now in the indies?
Not as much, but I believe that he could go somewhere and he could make their brand twice what it is now without him.
So where is he from? What country?
I believe Ireland. Ireland or Scotland or something. I'm not sure.
So, well, and I don't know if you know, there's a lot of indies over
in
Europe.
Yeah.
You got WCPW, you got Progress Wrestling, you got ICW. There's a whole bunch of them. And I mean, I can't even name WXW. I know a few of them. I don't know them all.
Right.
But there's a lot of them over there that a lot of these guys wrestle for over there. This guy too, Zack Sabre Jr. There's a lot of them over there in England that are getting really big. Wrestling's getting huge in other countries. It's almost, sometimes it's almost bigger than it is here. There's if you really are a wrestling fan and don't watch just WWE, which some people do, that's all they watch. there's a lot of wrestling to take in.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, which we're going to talk about some more today in a little bit. Okay. That's so we were talking about this. Does Neville have the same draw that Cody does, or the Young Bucks for that matter? Because the Young Bucks are making some money.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, this whole cease and desist thing, this is the highest selling t-shirt in ProWrestlingTees.com ever. Okay. And all because of they got a cease and desist from WWE.
Right. All because they flipped the WWE.
Right. You know, yeah, they did the takeover and all that stuff. But I personally don't think Neville has that drawing power yet. Even when Cody left WWE, he had that draw. The mere, that guy, he was signing on. Everybody I talk to wants Cody on their show, except for a few. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple diehard old school people, my cousin being one of them, like that, you know. However, I don't
think he had a. I honestly think he took a couple steps up since he left WWE.
Well, yeah, but
when he left WWE, he was. I don't think he was that big of a name.
He was, because he was getting booked left and right, and he was selling out shows.
Well, he wasn't. He was a mid-carder.
When he was put on the Indies, when he left WWE, he was selling out shows.
Definitely. But
he was doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Put ass in seats.
That's true.
And if you do that, promoters are going to love you.
And I do believe Neville. I do believe Neville has the drawing power.
Yeah, see, and here we go. He didn't spend enough money or enough time to get the money he wants, Neville. So he hasn't took his character to that level to where if he leaves, like, think about it this way. Cody was Stardust before he left.
Yeah.
You know, and
I loved that. I
did like that gimmick. Not for Cody, at least.
It was great.
You know, but go back for a second. Go back to when he was Stardust and they're chanting Cody.
Well, yeah, because
in the stands.
Because people didn't like the character. That's
but obviously he was frustrated too.
Some people don't like guacamole.
Well, but he was frustrated too, and he asked for his release. Right. They granted it. And now, you know, he can't even use the Rhodes name.
Honestly, I think he was more frustrated over his booking. He was, you know, he wasn't getting what he deserved, honestly.
Well, I agree. Now look at him in ROH and the gimmick that they got going. He's in the Bullet Club now, and he's making money. And he rewrote the book when it came to contracts for wrestlers. He rewrote the book.
That's 100% correct.
That's right, and that's
a Rhodes. That's why people want to see him.
Well, I get that too.
If Adrian Neville was a Rhodes, everyone would want to see him too.
I don't know. We see. You know, I didn't like. You know, I don't take this the wrong. Don't take this way. I like Dusty Rhodes.
Oh yeah,
I do. I like Dusty Rhodes. However, I'm not. By the time I started really watching wrestling, he was pretty much done.
Oh yeah, he was pretty close.
You know, not like Ric Flair, who wrestled till he was 95.
He was in the end of his. He was in the end of his career by the time he came into the WWF. Then
right. Well, you ever watched the video that DDP did remembering Dusty Rhodes?
And when he talked like Dusty Rhodes and.
Yes.
Exactly nailed it.
How do you not, if you're a wrestling fan, how do you not shed a tear after that one?
Oh, I did.
I watched it again last night and I was just like, man, how do you not shed a tear after that one? Because what that man did for the business, you know, NXT. Right? I'd pay too. Well, I'd pay even now.
I'm changing my last name.
If Blue Water Championship Wrestling didn't have a show on the 28th, I'd go see ROH. But I'm loyal to BWCW. So
ROH, when is that?
October 28th.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Okay, we've talked about that. There's a lot of wrestling going on this weekend. I don't know if you know that. There's not really any like WWE events. There might be some WWE live events.
Month.
Right. Well, yeah, the whole month. Well, even next month is Global Forces pay-per-view.
Right.
Bound for Glory. Or is that Bound for Glory? Or what? I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up. But anyways, so Saturday and Sunday. No, it's not Bound for.
No, I believe Bound for Glory was a TNA thing.
Well, it's GFW.
Oh, GFW, yeah. Sorry, yeah, you might be right. Sorry.
I think they already had Bound for Glory. Anyways, I had to look it up. But anyways, Evolve 94 and 95. Okay, so Saturday 94, Sunday 95. 94 is in Queens, New York, and then 95 is in East Haven, Connecticut on the 15th. So the booking, and I have it down here once we get down, and we have some of the booking. But if you're not familiar with it, and now they're not on FlowSlam anymore, and they're not going to be on FlowSlam anymore. It's all wwnlive.com. I'm not sure what they charge, $9 or $10 or $15 for.
I think it's $14.99 a pay.
$14.99 pay. See, now I wish they would go to like a subscription.
Yeah, monthly subscription. Nice,
yeah, because I really dig Evolve. I really dig it because it's a different feel. I mean, it's a different feel for an indie show, and a lot of people really like it. And it's even different than ROH. You know, you ever watch ROH at all?
Yeah, I did. Okay. I used to watch it a lot.
Okay, but they're put in. You know who Matt Riddle is, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they're Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. Mm-hmm. They wrestled against each other a while back in one of the 80 ones, Evolve 80 something, 89, I think. I can't remember. And Matt Riddle won the title, the WWN title, not the Evolve title.
Right.
And so then they were buddies. They were tag teaming together. And then at the one I was at, something happened in their match, and Matt Riddle basically, pushed Keith Lee.
Right.
And now they're going to wrestle at the 14th in a last man standing. And they've been really pushing this match. They're because if you belong to their site, they have they'll send you emails and stuff telling you what's going on, and they're really been pushing, doing some sizzle reels and things like that for this match. And I met Matt Riddle, and he's a really cool dude. I could have met Keith Lee too, but I didn't. He was kind of off to himself doing stuff. I didn't want to bug him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Understand.
He wasn't hanging out, trying to do autographs and stuff like that. I thought there was somebody else commented.
Yeah, I did too.
But so it's last man standing, and it should prove to be a great match. I watched 92. I was there, and I really enjoyed it. And if wherever you're at, and there's an Evolve show coming, you should go. Okay. So, and then I was at 92. There was a big tryout and I knew some of the guys that tried out. Justin Maine, James Alexander. There was a couple other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. Well, Keith Sweat, formerly known as Keith Sweat.
That's right.
Now known as Cyrus Satine. Okay, I hope I'm saying that right.
I believe that's right.
I hope so, because it's one of those ones that just get me, But so he went to Chicago for 93.
Right.
They liked what they seen, and he made it on the pay-per-view. He was the first match. It was a short one, but it doesn't matter. If he did his job and he made the other guy look good, he did his job, and I guess they liked what they seen. And so now matter of fact, around about 6 o'clock, him and another guy that I know are on their way to Queens, New York for the next show.
Right.
And I'm not sure if he's going to be on the show in Connecticut or not. I don't know. They didn't really talk about that. But the guy that he's with is probably not coming home, so he's probably going with him. So keep your eyes out for Cyrus Satine, all right, on Evolve. And there's other promotions that the guy that runs Evolve, his name is Gabe. I don't know how he's Sapolsky or something like that, but they have a bunch of other ones, little indies. You know,
Yeah.
There's Shine. There's the AAW, I think it is. There's what was the other one? There's a couple of them. Anyways, they all used to be on Flow Slam, right?
Right.
So you could see him on any of those, and that'd be awesome, you know. So it's he's up and coming, you know, and he's gonna be on the 28th. He's gonna be here on the 28th. Cyrus is.
He's good. I've seen a couple of his matches.
Oh yeah, he is really good.
In fact, I watched a match with him. Our first guest, Billy Ray, and your friend Alex.
Yep.
That was an amazing match.
Probably one of the best matches. I was there. That was one of the best
match.
matches of the night. And you know, they're all students of Andrews, and you know, so Cyrus is heading back home to Queens because that's his hometown. So that's where he's heading. That's pretty interesting stuff. So I'm pretty excited. I want to wish him a big good luck and all that stuff, and congratulations, because that's a big deal. Oops, this is the wrong one. See, that's what happens when you have too many mouses and computers. So mice, thank you. Proper English. It's that Mary's education.
I understand.
You know, I learned how to play football.
I do understand. You know what a brush pile is.
So, and then, you know, not only does Evolve have a couple shows this weekend, so does ROH. All right. So ROH has got a pay-per-view this weekend. I don't know. Did you know that?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. There's a part. It's Global Wars. Okay. Global Wars. Global Wars. It's where they do. It's ROH and New Japan guys.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I remember when.
Well, I mean, you know, Bullet Clubs in New Japan too.
When NWA used to do that back in the day, and they bring in all the Japanese guys. It was sweet.
Well, tonight. They're in Pittsburgh. Tomorrow they're in Ohio. I'm looking to make sure I get this right. And then Sunday for the pay-per-view, they're in Chicago, which is why they released the Bullet Club Chicago shirt.
Oh, okay.
Right, that was dedicated to Punk. But anyways.
Oh, speaking of Punk, did you hear that he's being wooed for a TV drama about wrestling?
That doesn't surprise me. He's got the charisma to do it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But and then they were in Buffalo last night. Yeah, so ROH was in Buffalo last night, and after the cameras shut off, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega was there. Kenny Omega was there, and they talked about the cease and desist, and they talked about Vince McMahon, and basically they, you know, said, listen, you're not taking Too Sweet from us.
Right.
You're taking it from the fans. And then there was the F Vince McMahon, you know.
Of course.
Then that was a chant, but it wasn't on. They didn't tape it. It was after.
Right.
You know, so this is probably going to end up on TV, but not this part of it. So we'll see if something persists from that with them. So here's the card, right? So the Bullet Club. Let's see. Cody, Adam Page, the Young Bucks, and Search and Destroy will go against the Motor City Machine Guns. You know,
love them.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns, which Chris Sabin. Yeah, Chris Sabin has wrestled for BWCW a few times.
Really? I didn't know that. He's amazing.
Yeah. Alex Shelley, Jonathan Grisham, and Jay White will go against each other for that. And then the IWGP United States Champion, the Cleaner, Kenny Omega, will take on Yoshihashi.
Yoshihashi's got him. Yeah, he's amazing. Have you ever watched
Kenny Omega though in Okada?
Yeah, whatever.
Come on, man.
He's all right, I guess, if you like that kind of stuff.
Oh, get out of here. And then the villain, Marty Scurll. Takashi. All right, Harumo, how do you say it? I like Marty Scurll.
I do too.
He did one. It was 2 shows ago or 3 weeks ago. He was announcing for ROH. Amazing. They should have him do it all the time.
Really?
He's got a career. After he stops wrestling, he's got a career. And you know he's now the WCPW heavyweight champ. You didn't know that?
No, I
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's that flip. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah, we're running it. We're going to die. We're going to die. Keep talking.
All right. I was looking a little forward here. Flip Gordon against the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
I've seen him live. Flip Gordon.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Will Ospreay. He's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I have seen.
He's
Flip
good.
Gordon. Yeah,
he's really good. I was surprised. Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, and Kenny King versus Suzuki Gun. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, me neither. Them are all New Japan guys.
I know Jay Lethal.
Well,
obviously, everyone knows Jay Lethal.
Who doesn't know Jay Lethal? Because he was in WWE
and now,
for a little bit.
Mark Briscoe, is that
the Briscoe brothers?
That's okay,
the Briscoes, and then that's what is it? Oh man, 3D, but they don't. Bully Ray. They don't call him Billy Ray. They call him Bully Ray.
Right.
But yeah, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Kushida and Cheeseburger. What? Cheeseburger? I've seen this guy. Have you seen this guy?
I have.
Little skinny dude. They call he's not like Cheeseburger. What they call it? Remember the movie Longest Yard? Cheeseburger Eddie.
Okay.
I got these pulled cheeseburgers out of his. Yeah. So yeah, he's not like that. But what? Colt Cabana's wrestling? I haven't seen Colt Cabana wrestle in ROH in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been on indies, but I haven't seen him wrestle on a card for ROH. He's always been announcing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and he's got some couple series. They did a couple like DVDs about being on the road. Yeah, I forget what they're called. I'll tell you after we're done. But then Silas Young and Beer City Bruiser, who he's doing a show here in Michigan. Beer City Bruiser is here. I don't know where, but it's up north somewhere. Versus Best Friends, Chucky T and Beretta. All right, so that's ROH. Should be good.
Shrimp Beretta?
I don't know. It should be a good pay-per-view. I'm going to do my best to watch it this Sunday. I'm not sure if I am going to be able to, but I'm going to definitely try. Colt versus Punk was epic.
Yeah.
Punk with anybody is really epic, really.
Yeah.
You know, I never really was a huge Punk fan until after he left.
Oh, man.
You know, I didn't really – well, I got out of WWE for a period of time.
I was a CM Punk 100% hater. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when he was with come on, help me out.
I don't know.
Straight Edge Society.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I wasn't a fan of that.
Okay.
But once Luke Gallows was gone and the chick was gone and CM Punk did his own thing, I was drawn in more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once they gave him an open mic and they said, you can talk, go for it, I was 100% drawn in, and I became a CM Punk
There was a
fan.
period of time where I just kind of like with wrestling. I was done with WWE. I really wasn't involved in indies that much.
Right.
You know, and then I don't know, my cousin started his deal back up again, and the spark ignited. And going to a live indie show really sparked my interest again. And once you go see live indie shows, it's really hard to watch WWE anymore. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really, 100% right, Joey. Punk is amazing.
Right.
I would love to see him come
back. Like I said,
in
that period of time that Punk was in WWE, I really wasn't watching a lot of wrestling. So I really wasn't.
You realize he was in the WWE for. He was in when John Cena was just U.S. champ. I forget who
but he was then on my radar. You know,
I forget who he wrestled, but at WrestleMania, John Cena came out with a Tommy gun, you know, and he rode down to the ring in an old 1920s car, you know, with the gangsters hanging on the side of the car. CM Punk was actually one of the gangsters hanging on the side of the car with a little toy gun.
like I said, he probably wasn't on my radar.
Yeah,
at that
he wasn't
time,
doing much then,
yeah.
you know.
But like I said, I mean, it was around when, remember when Goldberg, not this last time,
yeah,
but the
original
when he did the first Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, but it was
20.
first Rock versus Goldberg, right? That's how they brought him in, was through the Rock and everything. So. Well, and that's when I kind of stopped watching it again, and it was a long time before I started watching again.
I don't blame you, but man, if that would have been your last match ever watching, that was that
pay-per-view,
Brock Lesnar
at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania 20.
It was that was it.
If that would have been your last match to ever watch, I would feel sorry for your soul.
Yeah, well,
that was the worst match ever.
Yeah, well, it was definitely crappy. Was that in Detroit? Was that in Detroit? I don't know. Kilston was there. He's been to 3 WrestleManias. Did you know that?
Oh, wow.
He was at Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant at Silverdome. He was there.
That's cool.
Yeah. That one, and he was at the other one in Detroit, and I'm not sure which other one he was at. If he's still here, maybe he'll comment and let us know. But was that Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at Detroit? If you're still there, comment and let us know. I can't remember. If it was either before, it was either Detroit or the one before or the one after. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm
not sure.
Only 2. He's only been to 2. So was it both of? And no, it wasn't at Detroit. Okay, so I was wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. So October. You ever watch WrestleCircus, by the way?
No, never.
My God, you're missing out.
Of it, actually.
I know, and that's the thing. It's an indie. They've only been around for a year now.
Oh, okay? Wow. I don't feel
October 21st, 1 year for WrestleCircus, okay? And I got pulled in from another guy from a group, is what it was. Okay. It was one of the groups on Facebook. I'm not sure which one it was. And they pulled me in. They're like, you got to check this out. It's one of those things where you want to hear this. This is my thought process. Oh boy, you're right. Okay. If we all complain about WWE.
Well, yeah, because
most of us,
only thing that there is, that most of us know,
right? Okay,
there is.
Those of us that came up through the Attitude Era hate the PG era. That's what I call it, PG era, right? I don't like it.
Now it's the PG-14 era.
Whatever. Okay. But that's just because of New Day, really. If you're, but so everybody complains about WWE. I do it. You do it. Everybody does it. You know, whether it's the storylines, the writing, or something, we're complaining about it. Okay, we're all complaining about it. If you don't like WWE or you're upset with WWE, watch an indie. Go to your local indie. Had enough for me to like. Had a lot of matches that I remember. The Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
Attitude. I was there at SmackDown during the Attitude Era when Stone Cold Steve Austin threw Kurt Angle's medals in the Detroit River.
Yeah.
But that was taped. But still, that was
Cold, Jericho and just about anybody he stepped in the ring with.
I missed the Attitude Era.
Tag team division.
Or Monday Night Wars.
Yeah, the Wars.
Oh, man. Those were the days.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
When there was competition. So let's go back. WrestleCircus, because we'll go off and we'll be going for 2 hours. All right. We can talk about the Attitude Era for a while because that was our heyday. That's when remember we used to go to James's house and watch WCW every Monday night. You know, and then they came out, what was it, Thursday
Night Thunder.
And then they switched it to Fridays or something like
Thursday Night Thunder was on after the Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake TV show. Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
Thunder Bay or something like that.
Yeah. I love you guys. Oh, I feel like you should give me a hug.
Oh, he would. I wouldn't put it past that guy.
Right. Okay, so WrestleCircus. Okay, let's go back. WrestleCircus. It's an indie. They're in Texas. They're the 21st. Now listen, what's cool about WrestleCircus is they're on Twitch. Okay.
Okay, dig it. Yeah, I can watch that.
Yeah, they're on Twitch.
On Xbox One.
Right, they're on Twitch, and you can go watch all their shows. Okay, like live. And if it's $5 to subscribe to their channel on Twitch,
okay,
and then you get access to all their VOD. I subscribe because I really like it. The last one I watched was Cody Rhodes was on with his wife. His wife wrestled. She debuted her tribute uniform to Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, that's cool.
With the yellow polka dots.
I was going to ask if it was polka dots.
Well, the stipulation was if she lost her match, she wrestled another woman, and I forget who it was. I'd have to look it up. Anyways, if she lost her match, then the ROH title would be up for grabs when Cody Rhodes or Cody wrestled Scorpio Sky. So she lost. So the ROH title was up for grabs. Okay. And then Cody Rhodes and Scorpio Sky wrestled. Cody obviously won because he still had the title. And then the coolest thing happened afterwards. He took his boots off and they auctioned him off in the ring. To the crowd.
Yeah, that is cool.
And he donated the money to the local. The whole show was the money was going to some like a pet thing where they were for
cool.
helping pets and stuff. Okay, so they got like $1,000 for his wrestling boots. Now, personally, if I had the money, I'd have spent more because this is why they were the boots he wore when he won the ROH title. Number one. And he specifically said it was the first time Rhodes held a title in over 12 years.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So I'd have spent some money. And they were the American flag boot where they got on one side, they were black, and then they were like, they had the American flag. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And, they were in John Morrison was on that card.
Oh, yeah.
With, what's her name? Taya Valkyrie, something like that. But anyways, it's a great organization. The people that run it, they obviously put a great show together. I like it. It's well put together, and they're having their see, I keep using the wrong mouse. Dang it. I have the card here. They're doing the 21st. Circus Mania because it's their 1 year.
Yeah.
And then that. With WrestleMania, that's the 1 year mark, right? That's when everything starts over
that's
again.
Right.
But anyway, so they got Shane Strickland, and he's the champ against Brian Cage. If you haven't watched Shane Strickland, you have to. He's a great wrestler in the Indies. I really like him. Then we have the big top tag team championship match. Extra talented Ricky Starks and Aaron Solo versus. I don't know how to say that, but Jake and Dave Christ. All right. That's a good one too. Sideshow champion match. Tessa Blanchard. Okay. Do you know who this woman is? Tessa Blanchard. Think about that for a second.
Tessmacher. That's the only thing that I
Tessa Blanchard. Blanchard.
That is.
Last name Blanchard.
Oh, Tully Blanchard. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. What a moron. Well, of course, Tully Blanchard's daughter.
There you go. Well, and then you know who her stepdad is?
No.
Magnum TA.
Oh, really? I thought he was dead. I honestly thought he passed away in the 80s. No,
he's still alive. Yeah, but she's the champ. She beat Ellering's daughter.
Okay.
He bought Ellering's daughter. She beat her a couple shows ago. Anyways, against Desmond Xavier. So that she's going against a dude. Because she holds 2 titles. She holds the women's title, and then she also holds the Sideshow champion title for WrestleCircus.
So Sideshow is like men and women.
Yeah, it's a sideshow.
Gotcha.
It's a circus act, right?
Gotcha. Okay?
Yeah, all right. So Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky, they're both good wrestlers.
Right.
Sammy Callahan.
Yeah,
he's great too. He does a lot of stuff over in Europe too. Let's see. Jeff
Cobb's good too.
Yeah, MJF. Now, here we go. John Morrison. Is Johnny Impact? Or what was he going as?
Johnny Nitro.
What was he going as when he was in Lucha?
I don't know.
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Mundo. That's
Johnny
right,
Mundo. Yeah. All right. Which You know, and I've talked to Kyosin. We've talked about this before. Kyosin is my instructor, by the way. We talked about this before, where it's good that he's not in Lucha Underground anymore, because now he's wrestling for Impact or GFW,
right?
And he can do indie shows,
right? He can go,
yeah, you know, and
elsewhere.
People like him.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a big fan, but other people
really?
like it.
You're not a fan of John Morrison?
Well, no, I don't mind him, but it's, you know, I didn't really like anything he did in Lucha, and I
never thought he was a main event guy. But I would put an IC title on him. Right.
And this girl here, this is his wife. They're getting married.
Oh, that's cool.
She was in Lucha as well. And then she also was a champ in AAA. And then she's now in Impact. Versus Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae. And then we have a 5-man tag elimination match.
What is this?
Team Jervis versus Team Austin. Obviously, they haven't announced it because it says TBA.
Right.
She loves your hair.
Person's hair, not mine.
Oh.
Nobody loves my hair. I'm not John Morrison.
Right. So, the new thing is I don't know if you knew about this, but YouTube, so you can monetize YouTube channels. Okay. You can make money. They play commercials and all this other stuff. Well, YouTube changed their algorithms or something like that to do with wrestling because of the violence, because it's so violent. Okay. It's not like the old ECW days. We're in the PG era. Come on. So
you're not even allowed to show blood on WWE anymore.
Yeah, so they're used to, like, WCPW started on YouTube. There was a couple other ones that did YouTube, and they've all started to come over to Twitch now because Twitch don't care. Yeah. So you got WrestleCircus is on there, AAA, Progress Wrestling, WCPW, and then just recently, House of Hardcore. You know who that is?
No.
That's oh man, I can't think of it now. I know his name. He was in ECW. Tommy Dreamer. That's Tommy Dreamer. Yeah, that's his deal. And he booked Matt Hardy or the Hardy Boys versus somebody just after they got signed with the WWE. There was a big controversy about that too. But yeah, so
they did a couple of shows after they were signed with WWE.
Yeah, I know that. Right. So I'm going to tell you guys from my personal experience, going over to Twitch to watch some of these indie shows is well worth it. You know, like I said, with WrestleCircus, you subscribe for the $5, you get, you know, all their VOD content, but they also, you know, even if you don't subscribe, you can watch, you know, their live show.
Right.
And then what's really cool about Twitch is while you're watching their live shows, if you're a subscriber, the wrestlers chat while they're in the back. So that's pretty cool. I talked to Taya. Taya, that's how you say it once. She responded to me, and I wasn't all like, I didn't mark out about it, but I was like, oh, cool. Thanks so much. You know,
come on.
I'm serious.
You marked out when the popcorn sales.
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer. All right. Okay, so we've talked about some indies. We've talked about some different things, and we're going to talk about a little bit more, you know, local stuff here in a minute. But let's get into some WWE stuff. Okay, Hell in a Cell.
What was your rating? If you had to give
number wise, 10, like if I had to give it like a 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I'd have to 4.
4.
Wow. I wasn't impressed. Now there was, in my opinion, not even really. The first match with the New Day and the Usos. I was very
surprised that they opened the show with that. I was really surprised.
If the rest of the show could have been been as good,
I knew it wouldn't be. That's why I was surprised.
I think that if they would have did more with the other matches, that it probably would have been different for me.
Right.
But it wasn't. That match, I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then everything else has to live up to that.
You could have turned it off right then.
Right. You know, and it didn't. Even the main event with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon wasn't.
That was the story. You had to watch for the storyline, and that was it.
Do you think that this is the last time we're going to see Shane take a dive off the...
No, probably not.
You don't think so?
No way.
He's what? He's got to be almost 50 down.
What did he do? He jumped off the Titantron. He jumped off the Hell in a Cell twice now. He survived a helicopter crash.
Only 2 matches in the in the Cell was the problem.
I mean, he's
that was one of our comments here, and I have to agree.
He's unstoppable, and I think that's where they're gonna go with it.
You think so?
I kind of think so. Kevin Owens made it to where he was gonna beat Shane within an inch of his life, kind of thing. You know, I'm gonna power bomb you until you forget your kids' names. You know, stuff like that. And he didn't.
Well, he couldn't. Do you think at some point there in the match, like, because there was that point where Owens was on top of the cage, like he was going to jump, and he didn't do it. Do you think he was supposed to jump and didn't do it?
No, I really don't think so. I think that's part of another part of the storyline.
You think it was a work?
So that definitely, so that they can make the
Daredevil.
I can survive jumping off the Cell, and you can't even sack up enough to jump. You know.
Yeah. Well, and then you got Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wasn't a fan of that.
Well, this whole thing, everything, all the storylines lately, like the whole. For instance, hold on. Let's. I'm going to get off subject.
I wasn't a fan of Sami. If it could have been probably anybody else in the back. You know.
Right. Well, good question. So Falls Count Anywhere. They're wrestling on top of the cage. There's no ref. And if Falls Count Anywhere.
But does the ref? I mean, the ref only has to see the pin, right? So I mean, does he really have to be that close? I mean, I could see from the 5th row that the guy's shoulder was off the mat. You know?
But come on.
You know? I mean,
how many times it Falls Count Anywhere and they're in the back 40?
Oh yeah.
You know, in the ref's right there.
When Al Snow got thrown into the Mississippi River, there was a ref standing next to the Mississippi River.
Then there should have been a ref on top of the cage.
I agree.
There should have, even if he had to come out of the rafters, there should have been a ref on top of the cage. You heard it here first.
I don't think they'll do that.
Right. Baloney. There should have been a ref up there. But so Sami Zayn pulls Kevin Owens off. Then they do their thing on Raw. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then Owens wins. Okay.
Owens didn't just win.
Right.
Sami dragged him.
Well, yeah, but top, that's what I meant.
Completely make a 100% heel turn.
Well,
and I'm not.
So 2 matches in Hell in a Cell. The pay-per-view is called Hell in a Cell.
Right.
You have 2 matches in a cell.
And nothing else was even extreme or hardcore or whatever. You know,
and you got AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, which we've seen for the
three-way. So that was
they added that in later. But what business did Dillinger, right?
Yeah.
What did he have in that match? What was his business in the match? Why did they add that?
Because he's a perfect 10.
I don't care. He can be a perfect 20 for all I give a crap.
That is why.
Well, I don't see it. I don't agree. I'm tired of seeing the match. I'm tired of seeing it.
I don't
over and over, because first of all, let's be honest. AJ Styles is far too talented to be in the ring with Baron Corbin.
Maybe that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, well, they're putting Corbin over. Trying to.
So let me get this straight. You don't like Baron Corbin, but he seems to be a perfect replica of Roman Reigns. Except he's a little bit better. He's a little bit better on the mic. A little bit.
Not much.
I mean, neither one of them can really wrestle.
I don't think that he was ready. I don't think Baron Corbin was ready for the
right. He should have stayed in NXT a little bit longer. I agree with that.
I don't think he was ready yet.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, all titles in the cell. Heck yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
And obviously AJ was putting Corbin over. I get it. I do. I totally understand that. However, how many times do we got to see it before it becomes dull and boring? AJ can make a lot of people look good in the ring. How many? Remember the matches that he had with Roman Reigns?
Oh yeah.
And I said it when him and Roman Reigns went at it a few times, and even though we've seen it a bunch of times, it was a good match because AJ made Roman Reigns look really good.
Everybody.
Yeah. And I think
I don't know about that.
Is the greatest of all time, huh?
I beg to differ.
Oh boy. Here comes the great debate.
No debate.
The GOAT.
Hulk Hogan.
What?
Yeah, man. Come on. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, we wouldn't even be doing this podcast.
You're dead to me.
I'm sorry.
I like Hulk Hogan. Don't get me wrong. However, I don't think he's the greatest of all time.
Who puts more butts in the seats than Hulk Hogan?
Then or now?
Then, obviously. You have to go by the
I agree he revolutionized the business.
Everything about it.
But I don't think he's the greatest of all time.
Oh yeah.
No way.
If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, if there was no Hulk Hogan, there would be no WWE, there would be no WCW, there would be no Evolve, wrestling would be dead. It would have died.
He's been part of history. I get it. You got the Andre the Giant match. You got the greatest heel turn in the history of wrestling.
Wrestling.
I still don't see him as the greatest wrestler of all time.
No. It's not about the wrestling ability.
Not
about because if we're going strictly by wrestling ability, I would probably say Dean Malenko.
See, I disagree with you again. I like Dean Malenko, but I'm
or Chris Jericho because
Chris Jericho is one of the greatest heels ever.
One's the man of 1,000 moves, and one's the man of 1,004 holds. Holds, not moves. Holds.
I believe AJ Styles is at least in the realm of the greatest of all time, and the reason being is because.
Already? Really? You think so?
He's pretty dang close because he can wrestle anybody and he can adapt his style to make the match look good. And he will. Did you ever watch when he was on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast?
No.
Oh, you got to go back and check it out. He understands. He says to Stone Cold, he goes, I understand. I can't always be on top.
Holds, Joey, holds. 1,004 holds.
I
armbar.
He can get in a ring, change his style, make other people look good, put other people over, and walk out of that ring, and he's still over with everybody. Whether he wins or loses that match, they're still going to scream AJ Styles. And I've met AJ Styles. This one right there, you can see it, but and then it's up there somewhere, signed an autograph, and I met him, and he is a really good guy. And not just because I met him do I think he's the greatest of all time. I just think, man, John Cena.
You thought I was bad with Hulk Hogan? I mean, come on. I would take that over John Cena.
Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz.
I respect John Cena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I respect John Cena.
I respect him for holding the torch and
I respect John Cena. I hate his character, but I respect John Cena.
See, I don't hate his character even. I've always liked the whole all-American, down-home, good-hearted guy. That's cool. He is a baby face, 100%. And honestly, to tell you the God's honest truth, the only person that I think could rival a heel turn of Hulk Hogan's would be John Cena. Do you know how many little kids in the stands will be crying if John Cena...
I don't think he would do it.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. I believe that's why he hasn't. I believe that he has told Vince no.
Well, that, or he thinks he's bigger than the business.
No, I don't.
Because truthfully, nobody's bigger than the business. Vince. And if you do what you got to do to keep yourself relevant. And I don't think he would do it.
No, I don't.
Even if it meant him staying relevant in the business, I don't think he would do it.
Yeah, I don't either. Gilbert.
He said that because he knows I'm a huge Goldberg fan.
Gilbert.
He was just he's trying to work me right now.
Yeah, Mantar.
He's trying to work me right now. So I did watch 205 Live this week, and I don't know how you do it.
Did you watch? I don't listen to all the talking. Did you watch the wrestling? You got to remember, it's the wrestling that we watch.
You start out a segment or start out a show with nothing but Enzo talking.
Yeah, like 9 minutes.
And I didn't watch the previous week, and you said they did the same thing last week. Okay,
this week was way shorter.
Yeah,
way shorter.
A little bit of talking, a little bit of promo cutting,
right?
Because that's all part of the business. We all know that. But I mean, holy cow, man! You got him on Raw talking. You got him on 205 Live talking. When does it become too much? And you drag the show out. That's the problem. It felt like that. It's an hour show, and it felt like 2 hours because of all the talking.
The biggest problem is Enzo ended Raw, and then you got to watch him again
on 205 Live.
Because I don't know how anybody else watches.
And I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm gonna be very frank. I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm not entertained when I watch 205. And we talked about this before we started the show.
Yeah, we did. But you got to watch the wrestling. That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. I'm not entertained with the wrestling. Really? When I think cruiserweights, I think high flying. I think fast.
You want Ray and Hoovy, and you're not going to get that. Not right
I can get it at an indie show for $5.
Not for $9.99 a month.
Well, obviously not. I can get it at an indie show. Matter of fact, October 28th, Blue Water Championship Wrestling. They have one of the best cruiserweight divisions in the state. All right. You got Alex. You got Sirius. Or yes, how you say it? Cyrus. You got Cyrus. You got Billy Ray. You got Justin Maine. James Alexander, Cody Hawk, the man that trained Dean Ambrose. I mean, there are 6 guys right there that could put on a heck of a show. And even you said it before. You watched that match with Keith Sweat, Billy Ray Daniels, and Alex.
That was a good match. A really, really
And I believe that was a $15 show.
Yeah, probably.
$15 show. All right. And I'm not even sure what big. When I go to these indie shows like this, BWCW. Yeah, I remember, I met Shark Boy or Ken Anderson or Shane Douglas or whoever I meet at that show. But I don't remember the show by the star that's on the show. I remember it by the matches.
Right.
And, so that night, in my opinion, that's the only match I remember from that night.
It was a really good match. That's probably why.
That's what I think of when I think cruiserweight. Rey Mysterio, man. Even Cedric Alexander, right?
Yeah,
even that guy.
He's a high flyer.
He is.
He flies.
But I didn't see that.
Rich Swan or Rick Swan, or I don't know what. I believe it's Rich Swan. He can fly around too. He's just a little guy.
Too much talking, just wrestle.
I agree.
If you got an hour show, shut up and wrestle. NXT. Perfect example. There is a little bit of talking. Don't get me wrong, but it's proportioned correctly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's because you got.
It takes you back to the old days. WCW. Goldberg walks in the ring, kicks somebody's butt, and he leaves. right? Same thing goes on in NXT.
It's always Goldberg with this guy.
I'm just saying, okay? NXT, they announce the guys or the girls, they come out, they wrestle, they leave, right? There's a little bit of talking maybe, but that's it. And it's only for the guys that are, or the girls that are getting ready. Yeah,
main event.
Asuka,
status.
Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Aries, you know. But these other people, these low, the Velveteen Dream, they let him talk last week. Wasn't that bad of a segment. So then he wrestles Lio Rush. Have you ever seen Lio Rush before?
No.
Okay, so Lio Rush has wrestled in a lot of indies. WrestleCircus being one of them. Okay. CZW, PWX. A lot of the indies that a lot of the guys that went into ROH and all the way up into WWE and NXT. And he had his match and he went against Velveteen Dream. And it was a really good match. It was a really good match. And I believe it was Lio Rush's first televised WWE match. I believe. I'm not certain.
That's cool.
And I find Lio Rush very entertaining because he is a cruiserweight. He's a little guy, and he was, it reminded me of the old days with Rey Mysterio when he was running circles around people. You know what I mean? And I remember I watched a dark match with Rikishi and Rey Mysterio.
That was probably amazing.
It was a dark match at the Joe. I had fourth row. To watch that guy run circles around Rikishi, and obviously Rikishi was a lot bigger, but. And you know how we used to do that roll around you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, dude, that was amazing. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see.
See,
Ricochet, these types of matches.
I like that too. The flair is cool, but you can't. Not everybody. You can't have every match be the same.
Agreed.
You have to have mat style wrestling.
Somewhat, yes.
Like WCW did with Dean Malenko. When they brought Dean Malenko in, and if you look back at WCW's cruiserweights, some of the greatest matches ever put on in that cruiserweight division were Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. And Dean Malenko, I don't think he even got off the mat. I don't think he went to the second turnbuckle.
But Eddie Guerrero did.
Well, yeah, of course. And where I'm going with this is Drew Gulak. Remember we talked about him last week? He has his PowerPoint presentation, and he was trained by Mike Quackenbush from
talk about some names, huh? Quackenbush and Gulak
from CZW, I believe, is where he was at, and he had a lot of fame in CZW. He carried their brand for probably 3 years. Their heavyweight championship, 2 or 3 time tag team championship, and he's going to be good. And he's got a lot of mat based wrestling, and that's what I'm talking about. You get guys like him come in to wrestle the Rick Swans or Rich Swans or whatever his name is, and Cedric Alexanders. These high flyers. That way you get the kind of like Rikishi and Ray, like you were talking about, a big guy and a little guy. You get that.
Right. You get
clash of styles.
I see that. I mean, but
you got to.
AJ Styles technically should be a cruiserweight. Let's think about that.
Yeah, technically, yes.
But he's in main event heavyweight matches.
Well, then
okay.
Nobody says you have to be a heavyweight.
I agree.
I don't anymore.
But the point is, he's putting on a match with guys that he shouldn't be able to do that with. You know what I mean? That's my point. It can be done. And like he says here, you can tell the story and still have great fast moves.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You
can. But you can also tell that same story and draw it out with a little bit of mat wrestling. That's all I'm saying.
It depends on who the wrestler is, though, too.
That's true.
Do they have the skills to do that?
And do they have the charisma to do that?
I mean, how many botches do you see sometimes?
Oh, man. Yeah. Everyone botches moves.
I agree. However,
even the GOAT, from Joey's point of view, even the GOAT botches moves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean.
Well, with that said, with the NXT and, with seeing Lio Rush in there, I found it very exciting. a different taste in your mouth, I guess you could say, when you're watching wrestling, because it's an hour show to the point,
bam,
and they wrestle and it's over, and you're wanting more when it's done.
I've been watching NXT for the past couple of weeks because you told me that it's good.
It is,
and I agree. It reminds me a lot of the old 1980s small venue wrestling, the NWA wrestling.
Well, they keep it small for purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm glad that we're starting to see new talent come into NXT like Lio Rush, and then then the ones that have been there a little bit, like Bobby Roode, is starting to come onto the main roster.
Right.
Asuka's coming in. TLC, I think she's going against Emma at TLC.
Emma, yeah.
Oh boy, I feel bad for Emma.
No, Emma spent a long time in NXT. Did they wrestle? Did they have any matches in NXT? Do you know?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't. I think by the time Asuka got there, Emma was already out of NXT.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
Well, I wasn't sure because I know that she left NXT and then she came back. Then she went back.
I don't know something happened here. He said something and it retracted his comment. Something about the mouth. I don't know. Oh, in your mouth. Oh, because I was the taste in my mouth. Keep it G-rated. Anyways, let's move on now. So we talked about that. So last week we spoke about we knew it was going to happen. I said I knew it was going to happen. We've seen it.
Yeah.
The Shield reunites. Okay, the Shield reunites on Monday Night Raw.
You know what happened? You saw what happened. Exactly what I said it was going to be. Except it was only 5-on-3 instead of 6-on-3, like I thought it was going to be. But that's because Bo got hurt.
Well, and here's the thing too: is now you have the Miz Taraj, where you got the Miz, because they booked the match already. They booked it for TLC. You have the Miz, the Bar, and Braun Strowman versus the Shield.
I thought
the way I seen it, and they might have changed.
What's his name? McKillicuddy. I don't even know. Axel. I thought Curtis Axel was in that money too.
Is WWE hurting for money? Probably not. They're probably hurting for ratings. I would have football season.
They are hurting. Actually, I heard. I'm glad you brought that up. I heard reports that they are hurting for ratings, and that's why you're seeing Enzo and the Cruiserweights close the show out on Raw, and it wasn't to bring more eyes to 205 Live. Honestly, it was because they were getting less eyes in the third hour of Raw than they had been in the past.
And that's how they break that down too, is by the hour. I don't think they're, like you said, they're not hurting for money. They make a lot of money. Not just from their shows, but
their merch.
Their merch, their advertising. And because I was reading something about this a while back where there's the internet side of things, not so much with the network, but like YouTube and all this. They make a lot of money from that.
They used to do a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, they still do.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, they do.
Like they shut all that down.
They're the kickoff shows. They stream live on YouTube.
Oh, do they? Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought they stopped all that once they opened the app.
Yeah, 205 is dying.
It is
dying.
And I believe that's why. I honestly think that's why they're bringing guys like Ricochet in. I believe they want that. They wholeheartedly want that division to be popular again. They want it to be like it was in the WCW.
If they do it right, they could make it something, but they're not doing it right.
They're doing it. Yeah, they need to write it better.
So back to the Shield, all right, and the Miz and all that. Okay, so we got a 4 versus 3 for TLC. Does that mean we're going to get a 4th member of the Shield, or are we just going to get a special guest, or are they going to build, because they beat up Braun Strowman, right? Are they going to build the Shield up, way up, to get it over and bring the ratings up?
I think that's what they're going to do. I believe they're going to do everything they can to push the Shield over.
Yeah. Well, aren't they already over? Really, everybody wanted it.
I think they brought the Shield back together.
I think it was about ratings.
I want to say one of the big factors was Roman Reigns not being over still 2 years later. You know what I mean? 2 years. If you can't get over in 2 years by yourself.
They should have turned him heel a long time ago.
Yeah, they should have a long time. I'm telling you.
They had it. It was perfect. I know.
Right now, they have a perfect set.
They've had it for a million times now.
With the Usos doing their whole Uso penitentiary.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they could turn Roman that fast. A flip of a switch. Have him join the Usos with this whole Uso penitentiary thing. And I don't know why they're doing the whole 3-man stable thing anyway. It's always been a 4-man stable, and I think that's another reason that the 205 division is suffering. They don't get enough exposure. You know, how many people watch 205 Live every week? You know, I'm sure not many.
Not me, you know, I'll tell you that.
You can tell by the cheesy writing. They're like, well, you know, we'll pay this guy $20 an hour to write 205 Live.
To be perfectly honest with you, the only reason why I watched 205 Live was because of this show. You know?
Everyone goes over on The Miz.
Well, that's Miz's job.
Yeah, The Miz he's the perfect heel.
Right.
Honestly.
All right.
I can't stand the guy, but he is a perfect.
I like him.
The perfect heel. He's such a dude.
I'm so mad that they got rid of these after shows, like after SmackDown or whatever, and after Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Because he did some of his best talking on those shows.
Yeah. You know? I don't know why they got rid of those. I really don't. Talking smack after SmackDown was amazing.
Yeah. So, and then on Raw, we also seen what looked to be Bray Wyatt possessed.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, but it was horrible.
You think so?
I hated it. And that's a very strong word.
We talked about this last week. What was this good? Does this mean that we're going to see a version of Sister Abigail, or is Bray Wyatt going to be possessed by Sister? So I think that answered our question.
I was honestly hoping it would be a possession thing.
Well, it is,
but not Bray being possessed.
Really? You think it was like possessed, like another female wrestler possessed by Sister Abigail?
Something like that.
I think that probably would have worked a lot better.
And
however, do you have the talent, or
who could it be?
What woman on the roster can work it like Bray Wyatt does like that? And I don't think there is one.
Paige is still under contract.
Not like that, though.
And I've heard murmurs of her making
murmurs.
Those are faint. But I've heard murmurs that she's gonna make a comeback to the WWE, which I honestly thought was never gonna happen. Once the videos,
Alberto Del Rio,
once the videos, and her and Alberto, and then going to jail. You know, I honestly thought that. I'm surprised that WWE hasn't booted her.
And so he's saying, "Stop it, Paige." He says Finn needs to be pushed up and not stuck with Bray. Now, I think personally,
that's another guy I feel should be on 205.
I disagree with that.
Why?
Hold on. Let me finish what I was saying to begin with. Holy smokes. I think that the possibilities are huge with this storyline with Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, and more leaning towards Bray Wyatt, and then eventually Balor, goes away.
I hope so.
But in the storyline, not Finn Balor going away. What are you, retarded? Holy smokes, man! Do I need to get you chest pad and the helmet?
Big dude, come on.
But he's good. Puts on a heck of a man. Okay, moving on. Before we start throwing fists. Stop it, Paige. What are you talking about?
Are you kidding me? Paige is amazing, and she's crazy.
I don't think she could play the part of Sister Abigail, though. Maybe that girl from Sanity in NXT.
Oh yeah, she'd be good. Or even there's I think
even Alexa Bliss.
There's a girl on NXT. I can't remember her name. She wrestled in a triple threat on NXT last week or this week. Just
one of them was Sanity, the girl from Sanity.
Then that must be who it is.
The one with the wears the thing.
I didn't see her wearing a thing.
Did she come out like she had like a face mask thing on? Oh,
God. I didn't see her.
You don't know what you're talking about. Then.
I don't know her name though.
Moving on. All right. So, we're gonna start getting to it. We're at the end of the show here. We've been going on for quite a while now, but we got a lot in there, didn't we?
Oh wow, yeah, we have been.
Yeah,
today's the long. I think this might be the longest show.
It is actually the longest show we've done, but we didn't have a guest tonight. We apologize for that. I don't know what happened. There's this communication breakdown, I guess. I don't know. I do have the 27th book. Do you think we should tell him? Or do you think we should wait?
I think we should wait.
You think so?
Yeah, I think we should wait.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. How about send us some videos? Let us know what you think about the show and whether or not we should tell you tomorrow.
So we talked about a lot of different things tonight, and I just want to talk about real quick BWCW, Blue Water Championship Wrestling and Extreme Bombshells of Wrestling. They have a show on October 28th at the American Legion in Port Huron, Michigan, and Adam Rose is going to be there.
And the Bunny.
I'm not sure what they're calling him now.
The wrestler formerly known as Adam Rose.
Yeah, well, he's going by a name, and then it's formerly known as Adam Rose.
Do that.
Well, he has to.
I know, but he should just be the formerly known as.
I know, but it's all about money.
And then if he makes that his whole name, I don't think they can really do anything.
Paige got a lot from WWE superstars. Just can't show it on TV except Triple X channel.
That is 100% correct. Those are the videos I was actually talking about. I'm really surprised the way that they're pushing the New Day. And
remember that rap battle they had with the Usos?
Yeah.
And the line they dropped on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I do. Some of it was really good. But that's why I say I'm surprised I've even heard her name mentioned in the same sentence as WWE strictly for those videos, I mean,
the things they did to the belt.
But one of the videos was with Xavier Woods.
That's why they made that.
So I don't get it. Why can you push one? And China was pretty much blackballed for her videos.
That had more to do with the Triple H and Stephanie McMahon thing than anything. You know that.
I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't think Steph's that petty.
Well, so they got that show coming up on the 28th, and Alex will be going up against Justin Maine again, and then also Cyrus Satine, formerly known as Keith Sweat, is going up against James Alexander again. I'm not sure who they have. I don't know who they have Adam Rose booked against, if they even have a match booked. But I do know that the Bunny's going to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they filled all the spots for
I might have to be a Rosebud.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You had to pay extra for that.
That's all right. I got money.
I don't know if they filled the spots for that or not. But so there's that. And then so I'm still talking to this person about the 20th, which would be next week. So I'm thinking that we're going to start spreading out guests instead of doing one every week.
Yeah.
Just, because these guys are busy. I've been talking to a lot of guys, and they're booked on Friday, or they're busy doing this, or they're busy doing that. So I get what I can get, and do what we do, and I want to get this person on the 20th. Okay, so hopefully he's not busy. He said he's got to check his calendar, and he'll get back to me.
Oh man, I hope he's not busy.
Right, and then the 27th, booked, legit. Talked to him the other day. It's going down. Okay, it's going down.
Not even in the DMs.
No. And then so there's that. And then let's see. Oh yeah, if you haven't checked out or whatever the Young Bucks YouTube page, all right, it's let's see, Being the Elite.
Yep.
All right, you definitely should because it's got the invasion on there, and it's got their video from when after the fact, after they get the cease and desist. It's some pretty good stuff and pretty well written, and I can really see why people like these guys.
Oh yeah, the Bucks are amazing.
They can tell a story on their own without somebody writing it for them. So I really like it.
They remind me of the Rockers from the early 90s.
They're not big guys.
No, yeah. But Shawn Michaels wasn't a big guy.
No, he still ain't. But I mean, they put on a show. That's what they do. That's basically what I'm talking about.
That's what it's all about.
Right, putting on a show and leaving them entertained.
That's right.
When they walk out that door, they want more, and that's what it's about. Because then they're going to come back. That's a repeat customer, and that's the end of it right there.
Gotta keep them coming back.
Right, putting ass in seats. Okay, so 28th, American Legion. Check it out. I'll be there. Are you going?
I'll be there.
Okay, you're going. All right, so that's going to be awesome. Check us out. I don't think we're going to have a table for that. We're just going to be there. Maybe I'll get Adam Rose to do a small interview for me. Who knows?
Something, yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe I have to get him drunk afterwards or something. Who knows? All right, guys. So they call me Cody.
They call me Chunk.
Sometimes. Depends on the day. We'll check you guys later. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. Good night. We love you all.
Yeah. Too sweet.